Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And with, the Wayfair thing still spreading like wildfire on the internet, and many people not only contacting me about it, but then also questioning my research on it, I thought that I would show you some other things that are popping up that are really bizarre, that are similar to this, and show you really why I believe this to be a well-coordinated hoax. And remember, when I first started tweeting about it, I said, someone please debunk this. And then I said, if this is a hoax, it is a well-coordinated one. And that seems to be the case. So today, I see another really bizarre headline that there's some kind of weird Cowboys bag available on Amazon with the picture of a child with tape over his mouth inside the bag that you really had to look for. But it was indeed there. So I want to go over that. I want to go over some of the Wayfair stuff. I want to go over some Tom Hanks stuff with you all. But what I need you to do right now is thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share. Remember, guys, I'm fully demonetized on this platform. 100% demonetized. Who knows how much longer I will actually be on YouTube after Dan Dix was completely removed yesterday without warning. Just his whole channel, 14 years worth of work, 5 documentaries, over 1,000 videos, just gone. Just gone. And if you saw my interview with him, I think that is extremely important because Dan is another one of those investigative journalists that is on the ground and, in my opinion, grounded in reality. Okay, reality. His last video was very similar to my assessment of the Wayfair situation. If you want to watch that, you can still see it on BitChute and a bunch of other platforms. I'm really encouraging him to go over to Rockfin as well, because that's a place that's allowed me to do some free exclusives like yesterday you can go check out. And I'm going to do another free exclusive today coming up in about an hour's time at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. So if you want to watch my original over at Rockfin, all you have to do is create a free account, and then it will be a free live stream starting at noon Eastern. All right, let's get into it. So there is this Cowboys bag with a photo of a child inside. Now, when you pull back a little bit, okay, you see it's a small bag. There's no way that that could be, a young boy's body actually in there. And I would highly doubt that it could even be a actual boy's head if you see where the positioning is of the nose and where it is and where it's sitting down. It does appear to be some kind of a picture. Now, when you really do take a look at it, okay, and let's see if I can scroll down a little bit. No, it doesn't want to do it. Of course not. Why would it want to do that? Let's see if we can get this right here. If you look at basically this face, okay, that's a good zoom in right there. It almost seems like it could be like an album cover or some kind of weird artwork that someone stuck in as a practical joke. Take a look up here by the circle. It does indeed look like it's a piece of paper. Then you see the bizarre, tape and stuff by the mouth, but then you go over here into this area, and there seems to be some marking. So I'd be really interested if you guys could find the original picture that is being used in this Amazon ad. Why did I go to this first? Let me tell you why. Because on top of the Wayfair stuff, some of the other things that were kind of unraveling in that investigation was that Wayfair was not the only one doing this, and that there were overpriced items on Amazon as well, whether they be hardcover books or pillows and other sketchy things. Now, I've said from the beginning, I think that this Wayfair thing is extremely bizarre. I don't necessarily have an answer for you as to exactly what it is, but I saw who was pushing it. And whether you like it or not, it is the Q crowd, period. It may not be your beloved QAnon himself, but 100% it was being pushed by Q before, or not Q, Q crowd before anybody else. And we're going to prove that right now. a lot of people have tried to turn me on or think that I'm unaware of a woman named Amazing Polly, right? And I just want to shout out to the Burmis Brigade, because they're the ones that actually sent this to me, and I think that it is extremely important to look at this. Take a look. Amazing Polly, okay, on June 14th was the first person to talk about Wayfair. Now, I'm not saying that she was disingenuous looking at this, but I am saying that she is a Q follower, a Q believer, a Q decoder, and I am obviously not. So once again, to say that this isn't being pushed by the Q crowd, someone show me any kind of research on this Wayfair thing before June 14th. So that means basically 3+ weeks before this thing took off and took the internet by storm, one of the most prominent Q video creators was putting this out on the internet. So before the thread went wild in Reddit, etc., it was there. Now, I don't think she's in some kind of weird coordinated effort to put out disinformation. I just think that the evidence here, with some of the girls already coming out, making videos saying I'm not trafficked. I don't know why my face is on here. I received another email the other day from a great supporter, Kathy, who said that she had been in touch with somebody that worked at Wayfair, and that sometimes they would price things so high to hold them for other people, and then they would contact that person, and then they would lower the price. And then they said they also had doubles, so sometimes they would put first names. Now, I'm not saying that is the truth, and that is, we've gotten to the bottom of it, but I'm certainly not thinking that they were trafficking in kids and then drugging them and putting them in the cabinets themselves. That was just way, way, way over the top. Now, before I get into, a little bit more of the misinformation and why I don't buy into this, I wanted to talk about some real abuse that you're not going to see much of. All right, we got an ex-Major League Baseball pitcher down in Mexico, okay, being arrested not only for murder, okay, being investigated for murder, basically the death, and possible sexual assault of a 2-year-old girl. A 2-year-old girl. Sergio Mitri, okay? This guy right here. All right? Sergio Mitri, he was arrested, okay? He was arrested for possessing marijuana on Monday, but is also being reported he is being investigated over the death of his girlfriend's 2-year-old daughter, okay? And, again, they're saying that sexual abuse may have been involved. Now, this should be big-time headlines, right? But it's in the backdrop. Now, this is a case of actual sexual abuse of a child by somebody who is a major league athlete. This is something that's real and we should be focusing on. I'm not convicting the guy right now, but it's awful suspicious that he would even be arrested for something like that, let alone a 2-year-old dying in odd circumstances, right? Mexico or not, guys. I want to point that out. But still, you have fantasists out there that think that Tom Hanks is in Gitmo, that he and his wife are in Gitmo. I was getting that stuff this week still. And who are those fantasists? The same ones that believe in imaginary heroes on message boards. And this is detrimental. And, I got to tell you, I don't like what Tom Hanks has to say here. Okay? But you have to show me actual evidence, number one, that he is a pedophile. I haven't seen any real evidence there. I know there's the weird picture, the SRC code, all that stuff. We have the one accuser that's provided no evidence whatsoever. And you got to question those things, because you look at something like, for instance, on the other side, all these people worship worship Trump. And Trump had Katie Johnston say that, she was underage and was abused by Trump in some kind of a group party. Talked about wearing a glove, the whole nine. Now, I watched her deposition. Now, she was completely blurred out, but it's a video deposition. It's online. Anybody can check that out. The thing is, that didn't even take traction with the mainstream media because it was dropped in court. And I've always questioned it. And I'm not here to promote Trump. Okay, everybody knows that. Whenever he does something good, I say, hey, this was good. Whenever he does something bad, I say, hey, this was bad. I've never denied his relationship with Epstein. In fact, I was one of the only people out there 2-3 years ago saying that there was one and that there was massive evidence. And in fact, it wasn't even massive evidence. It was common knowledge, if you looked into it, that Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein traveled on Trump's plane with Trump and Melania. There seems to be even more evidence coming out that there seems to be other trips with at least Ghislaine Maxwell, possibly Eric Trump also on these planes, showing you, Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, at the very least, are in the same social circles as Donald Trump. And if we want to be intellectually honest with ourselves, we have to acknowledge that. Meanwhile, Tom Hanks questioning the patriotism of Americans who don't want to wear masks, saying literally it's the least you can do, saying his bones felt like crackers, etc., etc., putting in more and more fear into this COVID 1984 narrative. Yeah, that's an issue. That's an issue. I don't want to show too much of it because I don't want a strike for violence here, but we'll scroll through it and we'll just stop right there. But as you can see, this gentleman in Hong Kong was told to wear a mask. I'm not sure whether his patriotism was questioned at all, but he ended up attacking the worker in McDonald's immediately. I just tweeted it out. I'm not encouraging this. I'm not calling for violence, but I'm letting people know there's only so much authoritarianism, only so much Orwellian rule. In other words, telling you one thing, doing another. 2 + 2 = 5. We've always been at war with Eurasia. Somehow a mask is going to protect you from the invisible boogeyman. There's only so much of that human beings can take before they snap. Okay? And I think you're going to see more and more of this stuff going on in America, unfortunately. I'm not encouraging it. I'm just saying it. So that's a real criticism of what Tom Hanks has to say and do, and not some kind of imagination land fantasy. So again, I encourage people to look into everything, but understand where some of the more outrageous, unprovable stuff originates. And it originates from these Q believers. Okay? People, again, that believe in fantasies on message boards without evidence. Period. I've seen no evidence. My challenge to anybody of sending me information that was put out by the actual QAnon before it happened has failed tremendously. I got one weird Q map and it was a joke. We'll end up doing a video on that as well. We're also going to do a video on Ghislaine Maxwell's indictment after yesterday. She pleaded not guilty. She was denied bail, and we are hearing that the trial will not take place until July of next year. Originally, I thought it was going to be July of this year. I thought that was too good to be true, and I just misheard that or misread it just before I went live. So, guys, thumbs this video up, subscribe and share if you're into real research, okay? If you are, wanting to know about actual possible sexual abuse and killing of children. Here's an example. Okay, you don't have to go to some coded message board. You got one right here. It's right here. Okay? But people want to focus on the bizarre. And is it bizarre that somebody would put a picture of a child that seemingly has tape in their mouth on a duffel bag or a backpack from the COWBOYS and sell it on Amazon? Yeah, it's weird. It's totally weird. Something we should look at. But we shouldn't break out our jump to conclusions mats just yet. So again, thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share if you can financially support me. The link is down below. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. It's how we continue to do this and do it live. As you guys know, I'm on the road. I'm in South Dakota right now. And I'm looking for all that freedom. I'm looking for that new forever home. I wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. But at the same time, I've set up the studio. I'm doing interviews. I'm doing my regular thing. I'm still trying to put 3 to 5 out a day, not just walk-in talks. And I'm doing it with your support. So make sure you are subscribed. We're going to continue to do it. Check out all my documentary films. What happened there? That upsets me. All my documentary films, Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture are free right now, right here in the playlist section. And you can also support me over on Rockfin. Remember, in 1 hour, I will be going live on Rockfin for free. Go to rockfin.com, make yourself an account. You don't have to endorse anybody. You don't have to pay anything. And you will get a free live stream at noon when you go to rockfin.com/Jason Burmis. Be on the lookout for it. It's up and coming. I absolutely love you guys. And I will see you all on the flip side.